Okay.
All right.
I think we're all set up here.
I am
Hold up.
totally ready and willing. So we have oh, what don't we have? Okay, we have just blown up the gates into the lower part of the tower. The combined organizational skills of Hibu and the social preparations that Karnavik sort of put into position and that Malik has implemented um, have succeeded in doing this. Um, Karnavik's in the tower actually trying to open the doors, so that they could be opened without violence, missed by
That's right.
seconds, and that Kixikol, on the other hand, had been through a series of interactions, ended up reunited with Hibu just in time to find that her superior has effectively gone full militant with Freetown, and is you know talking rather differently than she was in the beginning of play. Um, so and Kixikol is of course watching all the different disasters and miscommunications whizzing by her faster than she can influence. Um, and so that and inside we have Karnavix, who has actually sort of infiltrated enough, impersonated easily enough of a working person there that you've managed to get access to some of the infrastructure. But it's just FYI, that's not a stable situation. You are not an embedded mole with massive backstopping of, identity
Right.
and all that kind of thing. It's very much, this was my chance moment.
And I
Now,
blew it.
then with Hibu and Kixkol as well, I want to give context that this is a massive event and is perhaps even kind of apocalyptic in the minds of many people. Um, so, organizing what you want people to do in any kind of directed, purposeful way, rather than everybody just kind of losing their minds and running around doing whatever it is they think would be done, you know, at this moment, um, is kind of up to you.
Okay.
So I'm free form play at this time in the good sense of the word.
Mm.
You know where you
Okay.
are roughly. Hibu, I can put you right up there. Hibu and Kickskull, I can put you like right there at the vanguard of the gates. Right?
Wait.
Yes. Okay. Helma, instead.
What Quetzalcoatl is looking for is a possibility to communicate everything she has found out so far to the central memory.
Ah. Okay.
She finally had a second to realize what's going on, and that she, if not now, maybe never will have the possibility to get even those small parts of information where they belong in her mind.
Mm-hmm. So this is very nice. My little bubble sheet of influences and who's up to what that I'm. Yeah, I know. My little bubble sheet here. One of those bubbles, what you just said, is an arrow punched straight into its heart. So that's good. And I think that's wonderful. Can you describe what it looks like and how you're doing this?
So my idea is actually that she needs some kind of interface, like a computer interface, a communication interface. We still have an echo.
Yeah, I'm afraid it is coming through Jerry.
It's a
Okay.
tail.
Sorry.
Hold on.
And as to how she communicates with that interface, that's an interesting question. I haven't really thought about it, but
There's lots of opportunities. This is a society, even in Freetown. I mean, it's not medieval. I mean, it has that industrial 19th century look, plus 25th century computers and media. So you've got all these weird screens and pop-up holograms everywhere, and you are a very observant person. You know all about the journalistic and other media oriented. I mean, you've observed several of them, in fact, and in fact, there is one person who has been miserably attempting to make himself into a small ball this entire time that you could very much use as a conduit for this purpose.
He'll just love me.
And that would be Collect.
Yep, I was just looking at his name.
Yeah. So, but there are lots, right? But there's lots of different ways, right?
I'm just going to find an interface a little bit out of the way, so nobody's going to grab me or disturb me, and then I'm going to connect, and I'm assuming there is some kind of spoken shorthand to relay information.
I actually think it's really weirdly like cybertech digital. I mean, like you go into maybe some kind of archivist mental
She's basically feeding in everything that she got since she arrived down here for the first time, including the actions that prefaced the incident at the Central Square, including the kind of change in attitude of the police forces on ground.
Right.
Including what happened when she came down for the second time, which is that she experienced from the workers that she encountered at the first time, that she got the important fact and point that there is not one opinion about how things should and be done. And including the quite obvious social injustice part of the whole setup of this part
for
of
you to
society. So
considering
all
this,
of this,
right? Considering the significance of this to the entity, the bubble on my sheet that it would go to, and who would be immediately have access to this and be able to act upon it, who's already in action.
Wait. This is going to go where everybody has access to it.
Well, technically,
as
yes.
far as she is concerned.
Right. Oh, I get that. But administratively, we're talking about Nisa Nolot. And
yes.
And what she and her infrastructure have been up to up in the tower, I know what that is.
Good.
So therefore, this is therefore significant enough for a roll. Before we actually see some dice hit the table, though, from you, let's take a look at what the other people are doing. I did say, chit chat, everybody.
I think I'm definitely trying to communicate with my offspring. So trying to impose my will upon them to change the direction of perhaps the way they think, get them up to speed and what's going to be happening and so forth. So that's what Hebu's going to be doing. So I will make some calls.
Can I give you some context for this?
Yes, please.
The fellow whose name we were both just investigating a second ago has been pumping his version, which is if not manipulative, is at least highly biased, specifically to them, because he's basically saying, "Come down and help," and you know, lay down the hammer on the rabble. This is time. It's I'm get me out of here, and um, and come down and and nuke the fuckers, basically. Code red, DEFCON 10. Come on. And so you can't run the tower if there's no tower left. And so is basically frantically. Now let's make some visuals of this, because I kind of had to make up some stuff for where I thought Kixcoll was, and I don't want to do that for everybody. Let's get it more on the table. You, as I say, are in effectively the vanguard of the social driving populace toward the blown up towers, or blown up doors. This is an industrially built up area and is, like in all those 80s movies where there's like some industrial plant out there, like the Showdown in RoboCop and all those different, some crap factory with, huge pipes and stuff like that out there,
Yeah,
out there in the brown fields. Right. Well, there's a bunch of those. That's what it looks like going up to the base of the tower.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jerry.
I always use the shorthand of Acme Chemical when it's that industrial complex.
Right. Especially a kind of beat up one. So with that context, managing a group of people to actually go in an organized way is a tremendously difficult job. And so that's one thing that's probably going to be occupying you a lot, just so there isn't just a confused mob of people running around in circles, literally accomplishing nothing. But to get to the point of what you were saying, the most direct line is Tlek Tlek Tlek. And he is, in fact, he has tried to, he's terrified to leave you, because then he feels like he's going to get like torn apart or something. So therefore he's not left. He hasn't run off. He desperately wants to run off, but he can't. So this means that he has taken some of the equipment you would like to use, the communications equipment that you had available. He has gone and put some kind of a tarp or cover over one of the, I'm thinking now of trucks with like covers and stuff like that, or exposed infrastructure in the truck that people are like perched in. Remember, perching, right? They don't sit and drive in the truck, they perch, right, and do things. And so on the back of the trucks that I'm thinking of now, there's almost like skeletal in machinery, some of its weaponry and some of its communications, and some of it's all involved with these activities that are going on. And so he has gone into one of these and he has put some kind of tarp or cover over them, and he's in there like, with his little face being lit up by the equipment he's using, frantically saying, "You have to get me out of here. You have to destroy these people. The tower, the doors have been blown. There's chaos and everything. They don't have wings. They're awful, right? They're awful. Hebu's gone mad." And so that's basically where he is and what he's saying. So that's what you're up against in terms of trying to get communication to your offspring.
Sure.
Right. So,
yeah. Can I see him doing this? Can I find him doing this?
I doubt that's going to be very difficult. We can basically say, given what you've already said, I'm trying to communicate, and this being sort of the obvious path as I see it as to where you would be going. If I don't see any reason to say, without playing your character for you, that in seeking the equipment you need, it shouldn't be very hard to lead you to, hello, what are you doing with my
Excuse
phone? So that's kind of what I've entered into thinking, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, I'll come up from behind as he's frantically sending out his little SOSs and sputtering in fear, and walk up behind him and kind of grab him by the shoulder, you know, and shake him. I'm like, listen, you fool. Stop acting like a scared little boy. You have the power of media. It's the most powerful tool of all. You're using it unwisely and ignorantly. So let me straighten you out so you understand what's at stake here. We are destroying ourselves from within. We are now fighting from within. We are establishing certain victory for our enemies on the outside, on other planets, because they see us in such a disarray. We cannot be already defeated before we've even begun. We need to come together. You need to help me put that word out. Stop being fearful of things you know nothing of. You're acting like a child. Be a man.
I don't think that a role to convince Tlek is very necessary, because the big goal here is getting your communication to Lexi and Ka. So
yeah.
So I totally get this. I mean, the response basically is, to swallow hard, and who knows how well he's incorporated your actual message, but he knows that if he doesn't give you this equipment, you're going to get it anyway. He'd rather keep his body parts if that's what's going to happen. So he will, you've got like blood streaked across your face at this point, right? So,
oh yeah, I probably look really insane.
Yeah.
And stuff. But the thing is, like, I don't want to take away his ability to communicate. I'm going to let him communicate what he wants. I just want him, I just want him to know he needs to be changing the tone of what he's saying. I believe completely that it has to be. I can't force something. Then it turns into like some weird dictatorship, and that's not what Hebu's trying to do. Hebu's trying to just
good luck.
Say, listen,
right.
You don't understand exactly. And if he doesn't, whatever. I'm going to push him aside and say, okay, I'm going to use your equipment for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to reach out and get a hold of.
So that's your role for sure coming up. Takes us to Jerry, who, for your context, somebody or something has alerted the lower tower that you're here. And it's not very surprising who. It's obviously Olmec's security team, has alerted this part of the infrastructure of the tower that you're in here. However, the destruction of the gates is tremendously, reality changing for everybody. So it's not as though you are dealing with a dedicated manhunt by Avix Hunt by a bunch of people who have nothing better to do. But that is the context, and I don't think Carnivix would be very surprised to know that you're up against it in terms of being apprehended. Even in all this chaos, somebody's trying to look for you. Because, you're responsible, obviously.
Right. Well,
Matter of fact,
of course.
They've reported you as responsible. He's in there and he blew the gates. He got in there. He got in there, and then the gates blew up. I mean, come on.
I'll take it. But, I'm going to continue to compound the shenanigans, because now that they're on to me, I need to move further up.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to go further up into the spire and get some other place safe. So that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, I know that where I'm at right now is not a good spot. So, I leave that and, casually walk on to another service elevator, or I guess the equivalent to stairs, since they don't have stairs. I don't even know what they would have to get to another access point.
Ladders, so you like flap up and perch, and like a little platform there. Then a little hanging ring, that you can swing on and stuff like that.
You know what? I will do that. It'll be Jungle Gym Carnivix as I crawl up, leap
Right.
to another one,
Right. Places
crawl
where
some more.
right. You're hampered because it assumes you have wings, but you're making do. Right. Right.
Yes.
Right. Uh-huh. Okay. But the main issue here is for you to evade pursuit and get to another, shall we say, should I use the word level? That
Yeah.
has
And basically
different
trying
properties.
not to be seen. So
That's the
I'm
tough
trying
part.
to yeah. And so I figure that's probably going to be a role to not be apprehended as I get to
Right.
another secure location that I can
Right. And
do
so
my
and
thing.
and again with a successful role, we want to actually get you somewhere with specific capabilities. I mean somewhere, so it's not just evading pursuit. So that's sort of the negative of not working, of not succeeding, right? So let's carry forward then. What traits are we using? Oh wait, what are the basic dice here? For Renee, 3 dice.
Mhm.
For
Awesome.
Kixicle, well, you're all hooked up to do exactly this. I mean, cognitively, technologically. So that doesn't really strike me as too terribly difficult either. No, sorry, Hebu 2 dice because you've also got management to take care of. Your attention's a little
Gotcha.
divided. 3 dice for Kixicle. For Jerry, this is a little tougher. I would say 1 die, except that because of the gates being blown, things are so shattered that it's not like it's a very good Avix hunt. So some people are acting upon the signal, that the terrorist Carnivix has blown the gates. He's inside the tower. Catch him, but only some people are actually responding to this in a coordinated way. The people they communicate with also vary in what they consider to be important in the moment. So for you, we've got 2 dice from me.
Okay. And with those 2 dice, I'm going to...
Everybody just talked at once. I love it. Clockwise from me.
Are we all rolling at once?
Yeah, yes. Clockwise from me, Renee. Helma, did you want to say something?
Everybody grab an extra die.
Everybody get an extra die in their pool, beginning of the session. Correct.
Voice.
Jerry, what were you going to say?
Okay. No, I'm using my Riot and Bedlam specialist because I'm going to use the mania and the chaos around me to, kind of make my way.
Okay. Yeah. This is your language.
People like to back that way.
Right.
What's that?
This is your language. I get that. Okay. Good trait. Renee, trait?
Diplomatic negotiation to start out with.
Okay. Decapitations later, right?
And then I'll spend a 1 pool die.
Right.
So
Helma.
Either memory or act. I think memory.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Use any pool dice you want, people. Roll.